I think we're still going to be there because this president seems to be totally unwilling to talk about any kind of a compromise on this at all, given the attitude he's had with the congressional leadership. So I think he's in fact said a few months ago that he fully anticipated sort of handing this off to his successor, words to that effect. Or someone said it at a high enough level that became sort of, you began to get a feeling this is what the goal was. Just don't lose it between now and January 20th, 2009. And on that day, hand the football off to you and say, you now fix it. And
what will you do to fix it?
Well, what I would do today, and I don't know what happens between now and then, but let's assume nothing has changed, basically where we are. I support the Reid-Feingold legislation. And I know that there are those who see this as too restrictive. I don't. I think what's been missing to the Iraqis is definiteness, some real clarity here. And I don't think they're getting it. I think they're making efforts rhetorically. Gates going over there a week or so ago. And here's the Republican Secretary of Defense saying, the patience of the American people is not unlimited. Read that carefully. You know, that's a rather strong statement, and I suspect what he wanted to say was a lot clearer than that, like it's about run out. Well, that's what the American people are saying, and that's what the world is saying. We have a debate for the French presidency, and it ought to worry every American that a major point of contention is whether or not you're going to maintain a friendship with the United States, an ally talking this way, presidential candidates talking this way. The notion somehow that this can be strung out sort of with benchmarks and goals. Everyone I have talked to, from Baker Hamilton, every leading military officer who's been there for any length of time, have all come to the same conclusion. It has never been a winnable military solution. This is a civil war. And the language, if you accept the language of winning, losing, then you fall prey, it seems to me, the logic that this is somehow something we've got to stay there to resolve for them, rather than creating a climate where they decide to do this themselves or not. I was at Walter Reed Hospital a week or so ago. The young fellow from Connecticut lost his eye over there, and very proud of his service and all the rest. And I asked him about reaction. He said, look, words to this effect. He said, you know, we'll go in with a problem, we'll spend a month and a half cleaning up. An hour after we leave, it's right back where it was. And he said, the very nice people we're talking to during the day, they know where every IED is, they know where all the ammo dumps are, and they don't tell us. What am I doing there? This is not a time. We cannot fix this for them. They have to decide to do this themselves. I'm not sure they will, but I can tell you under the status quo, they never will. But clarity and definitiveness about a time to begin and a time to depart, as rough as it may seem to people, and no one's going to abandon our troops getting them out. That's foolishness to suggest otherwise, is what I think may be missing here. It may just do what I think everyone wants to have done, and that is these religious and political leaders decide they want to be a country. And if they do, they'll come together. And then you can do all sorts of things to be helpful. But in the absence of them coming to that conclusion, there's not a treasury deep enough or an army big enough that's going to do that for them. And the sooner we make that clear to them, the better off we may achieve the very common, universally, I think, held goal is they ought to be able to get back on their feet and provide some hope for their future. You don't do that, you're kidding yourself, in my view.